What's up, guys? Welcome to Straight from the Chest. My name is Justin Groth. And guys, I just want to take this time and thank you for giving me your listening ear. Thank you for joining me. It means a lot to me, man. I'm very grateful for you guys. Look, we're coming into the end of 2020 and shit. It's been a year. And I always am asked this question, and I'm in the industry where people like to supercharge their lives in January. And I'm obviously a proponent of that, but I was asked this question, I think last year around this time. My friend and I, Ramon, did a podcast. Shout out to Ramon. And he asked me that question. I believe it was last year. And he asked me that question of, so what do you think about something I'm going to butcher it, but something to the effect of, what do you think about people that have New Year's resolutions? Do you have any? Whatever, right? And I remember thinking, no, I don't have any, and I never have. And I'll say it basically the way I said it to him. I think of this as just another day. And I don't think that you need a new year to be a new you. I think you need a new perspective, and I think you need to make better decisions. One of my good buddies and colleagues in fitness, David Pitt, shout out to David Pitts, he just did a story on this, and he was saying effectively, you have to make better decisions, and the decisions are obviously going to lead to your progressions, and we all understand this, but at the same time we don't want to adopt it, and it's something of it takes energy from us to be better, and it takes accepting discipline, and it takes accepting responsibility for us to actually be better human beings. And the fact of the matter is, doing anything worth anything is going to take you a long stint of time, far longer than you even anticipated, and it's going to take a lot out of you. But when you have something, and you have the nuts and bolts of something that is going to be something of worth and benefit and value to not only you, but people around you, it is something of a moral obligation for you to continue pressing on. And the thing is that it's so much easier to not accept any responsibility. It's so much easier to just say, I'm going to be better tomorrow, the next day, or, and when that day comes, you're not anything better than what you were 2 days prior. And the whole New Year, New You thing doesn't, the reason why it doesn't hold up, and the reason why I think it's just so frail and falls flat on its face, is because that's effectively saying you need a new year to be someone better when you could make these decisions now. You don't need another day. You don't need another year. The whole premise behind that, I know it sounds good and it sounds fluffy and it sounds motivating, but then that's the problem right there. You feel like you need motivation to be a better you. You need better decision-making skills. That's what you need. You need better discipline. You need better responsibility in your life. You need more of that, rather. That's what you need. You need to hear these things day in and day out. And you also need to think more of yourself. You need to take the limits off of yourself. You need to keep saying to yourself, I have what it takes. I know I'm better than this. I know I have the talent. I know God's placed the vision inside of me. I know that's my dream. Look, if you take what you were 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was just thinking of this on my own, and you see where you were and then where you are now, even if you're not drastically where you want to be, there is a stark contrast to where you were 6, 7 years ago and to where you are now. I mean, me personally in my life, 2014, nothing of what I am now. Nothing. The way I think, the way I produce, the way I perform, it's all different. What I have, I mean, not what I have in terms of material things. I'm talking about what I have in terms of what I've done in business, And by all means, I'm not saying I'm successful. I'm not saying that I am a what do you call it? A success story or anything like that. No. And plus, I have a long ways to go, and probably you do too. But here's the underlying tone here. I'm not stopping. I'm just getting started. I'm not stopping, and I'm going to die before something happens that takes me out of this. That's going to be the thing to take me out of this. That or the world collapsing, one of the two. But if I keep living, I always keep saying this to myself. If I keep living and this world doesn't come to a collapse, I'm going to do great things. And you're going to watch it. And if you're in that same ballpark that I'm at, you need to say the same thing. You don't need to say it to anybody. You can say it to yourself, but you need to say it. Because that's reality. Why would you be here? Why would you be plugging away? Why would you have the pertinacity that you do have if it weren't for something great? If it weren't for something to unfold that's going to be something monumental in your life? That's going to lead to not only financial freedom in your future, but that's going to lead to deriving value to others in their future. Why would you keep doing this? That's got to be the goal. That's got to be the goal. You as a human, trying to find your way, trying to find your path in life, that's got to be the goal. That's got to be the why. And if you don't have that, sure, you're going to abdicate yourself of any disciplines or any responsibilities or any kind of moral obligation that you would have otherwise. Because what's the point? That has to be the why. Giving value to yourself, your family, and others, financial freedom, and being able to leave a legacy and your mark on this planet. Those have to be the reasons. I mean, you may have your other reasons as well. There may be other reasons because you're obviously your life and the development or the association of things and people around your life are different, but that's got to be the underlying. There's got to be something of that. There's got to be a why, or else why even work? Why even continue? Why even wake up in the morning? That's very important to understand, and it's very important to say to yourself every single day. It's very important to say, look, if I keep living and this world keeps turning, that's what I say. If I keep living and this world keeps turning, I'm doing great shit. It's just in the cards. That's been something that's been inculcated within me from the earliest days that I can remember. And I don't know how it's going to patternize itself. I don't know how it's going to materialize. But I know that if I keep being my best and I keep driving and I keep believing, that I know that there's going to be opportunities that are going to amalgamate into other opportunities, and it's going to form something that I never would have been able to fathom on my own. And that's you. But if you choose to not set up disciplines, to not set up structure, to not set up goals, to not believe in your visions, to not believe in the thing that's plugging away in your gut, to not extract that every single day, then yes, you're right. Nothing will happen. Everything will be the same. And you're going to go on another year, and nothing is going to change. Now look, this isn't meant to be a motivational podcast. I do want to enlighten you on things that I think could benefit you. And oftentimes, those things are hard to hear. They're hard for me to hear. But I've gotten a little bit better at it because I tell myself the same stuff every single day. And it's not because I'm trying to live optimistically. It's not because I'm trying to be a motivator here. It's only because this is the only thing that keeps me going. But like my friend David was saying, the decisions are going to play a monumental role in your life. The day-to-day micro decisions that you make. Should I get up at this time? Should I do this workout? Should I eat this food? I know you know all this. But if you know all of it, why is it still penetrating your brain when I tell you? it's still penetrating and it's staying there because you know it's something that you have to get better at. We all have to get better at certain things in life. Maybe that's one of those things. You have to get better at your decisions. You have to get better at proving to yourself that you have discipline and you can adhere to a structure. There's no bad thing that ever came from being disciplined and being a structured human. Nothing. Name one thing, name one person that's gone down the rabbit hole and into the mire of muck from being a disciplined, structured person. Zero. I know of none. That's like saying someone that gave everything that they were died a pitiful, lonesome life. I don't think that's true either. I think when you give, you receive. And may it not from people, from God. It's just the reciprocity that's in nature. And here's another thing. God will take your attributes you think are just frustrating and destructive and dysfunctional, and he'll turn them into good. And let me give you an example. I'm use myself here. I'm a very much an OCD person. Like anybody who knows me knows I'm massively obsessively compulsive. And I'm not talking about like switch on the lights on and off, 18 times. I'm not talking about that kind of obsession. I'm talking about like being clean, being organized. Those things are massively obsessive about, okay? Back in my earlier days when I was in high school, it was a motorsports company. So I would basically sell truck parts and lift kits, and I installed them as well. So, and believe it or not, that's in my background. So I like mechanics because of that matter, or because of that factor. So what I did was the only way that I could feel good about doing mechanics is when I had to obviously wear gloves and make sure that I didn't get a bunch of shit on my hands or oil in my hands. And luckily when you work with lift kits, you work with hardware. You don't really get too oily in the fingernails, but you do get dirty, and that's fine. But I would wear gloves, and I'd also buy these sockets that had Teflon coating in the socket so that when I put on the new bolts for the new lift kit on the truck, they didn't scratch the head of the bolt or the head of the nut, right? That was important to me because I wanted to distinguish myself from the crowd. And that I felt was one way I did it. I made things clean where they wouldn't otherwise be clean. That was an obsession of mine, as was cleanliness and cleaning the trucks and cleaning the chrome and the bracketry and all that stuff, right? Before I left my shop. But here's the thing. That was a thing that I acquired. But that was a thing I believe that God kind of placed in my wiring. Now, with fitness, I'm the same way. I'm clean. All my equipment looks pretty much brand new. But that's only because I kept it so clean because I have an obsession around it. But that obsession is going to be probably something that God's going to use to propagate my future. Or to propagate, rather, the things that I'm weird about, but for my benefit. That might be something that he's going to attach to my business or whatever. But here's the thing. One thing I thought that was going to be that something that takes me so long and bleeds so much time from me and energy could very well be the thing that he uses to separate me from the crowd. And that could be the same thing for you. What you think is a dysfunction, he might be using to actually separate you from the crowd. And you're trying to discount yourself from this, and because of this dysfunction you think you have, all the while that's going to be the thing that's going to stand you apart. You don't know what that thing is. But here's the illustration behind that. Continuously be unique and actually bring out more of your uniquity and extract more of that out. And don't be afraid to be unique, and don't be afraid to be a little bit offbeat. That can be a good thing, and that can be the thing that he's going to use to stand you apart from the crowd. That's one thing I think is going to be I think that he's going to use that But I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times before. But here's the tone. If you don't develop a more productive mindset with regards to these micro decisions and these disciplines and this progressive attitude towards being more responsible, you're never going to see what you could be. You're never going to see this thing manifest into what it could manifest into. It may be 10, 12 years before you get somewhere that's appreciable. But I say this all the time. What else do you have better to do? Nothing. Develop yourself. And the only way to develop yourself is to set boundaries for yourself. And to be obedient to those boundaries and obedient to the opportunities that God's laying out in front of you. That too. But apart from that, setting disciplines, staging responsibility, like actually adopting responsibility on your own for certain things. And I don't know what that looks like in your life. But to me, the moment I found bodybuilding, it organized my life even further. Maybe you just need to find your bodybuilding, the thing that you do well without even having any effort involved. And although there's going to be effort, it's going to open up and actually it's going to showcase certain elements to you that you didn't think you had, or it's going to showcase elements that you need to actually capitalize on and make better, that you need to refine. And you refine those elements and you become a different, more progressive version of what you were 6, 7 years ago. Reflect back on that, and I guarantee you'll see a different person, but more effectively going to the future. In whatever 2021, 22, 23, 29, 30 has involved, as long as this world keeps turning and you keep living, you're going to do great things. You're going to even do more monumental things when you refine the elements that actually are the progressive behind your movement in the future. Done.